Well, Duwayne Brooks, who we saw in that film, is here with us now tonight. Thank you so much for coming in. You'd be forgiven with everything that happened with the Met for not trusting them at all. What was it about Clive Driscoll when he took over the case that was different?
Clive Driscoll comes across as a very honest person, down-to-earth, South London person, bit of Cockney every now and again in his language. And for me, he was just completely different from all the other officers that I had dealt with. And so I gave him a chance. He said to me, Duwayne, I can crack this case. And I felt, well, let's give him a go.
Did you believe him?
No, I didn't believe him. But he made a tremendous amount of effort to convince me that it can be done. And I had no other choice but to trust him. And Clive and his team came through.
And when they did come through, when there were successful convictions in the end, what were your and the Lawrence family's feelings about the man then and about the successful inquiry that he'd brought?
I felt the Met should have come out and said, well done, Clive. Well done, Clive, Peter Franklin and other members of the team. Well done. You have done something that nobody else thought was possible. But it didn't happen. And I'm still baffled as to why the senior members of the Metropolitan Police haven't come out and said thank you to Clive and his team.
Why do you think that might be?
Well, we've seen from the clip now why it could be, because there were senior officers in the Met who just did not want there to be a conviction in this case.
You felt that too?
Along the way, yes. Up until Clive got involved. Once Clive was involved, the communication we had was constant. He kept me up to date about the issues, the problems, and what he needed to do. And for me, it was just a matter of time. And as we saw, we had 2 convictions.
Now, the Met would say they were always committed to the investigation and they were always committed to trying to get convictions. But now Clive has retired just a matter of weeks ago. Do you believe there is still a prospect of there being more convictions in the case?
Without Clive leading a team? No, I don't think it's possible. I think all the work that Clive and his team has done over the past, 7, 8 years, it's all going to be lost.
It's all going to be lost?
I don't think the officers who have taken over now are in the same league as Clive and his previous team. I don't think they've got the leadership skills, and I don't think they've got the communication skills.
Well, on communication, do you talk to them? Would you talk to them?
I haven't spoken to any of the new team at the moment. Will I speak to them? Of course, because I would like to see more convictions. I would like to see everybody who was involved convicted. Would I be able to trust them? I don't know.
Why not?
Because the way Clive has been treated is not how I would expect the Metropolitan Police to treat somebody who's just got a conviction where nobody thought was possible.
The Met, of course, say that Clive has reached retirement age. He's leaving for perfectly correct reasons. Nothing has gone on in any other way. But do you feel that you would ever be able to trust the force again? Because from what you're suggesting, without him, you just wouldn't. Well,
in relation to the Lawrence case, it would be a bit difficult for me to trust officers who are coming in now because of the way Clive has been treated. But if we were talking about the Metropolitan Police as a whole, well, of course I trust them. We have thousands of rank and file officers that do a great job day in, day out, and they protect us all in this fabulous city. So on the Lawrence case, it's a bit different from generally the Metropolitan Police, who I do support, who I do trust.
What do you feel about documents, including those relating to you being bugged during those early days of the inquiry? What do you feel about those being withheld? The Met says absolutely not intentionally, but what do you feel about that?
Saddened, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. But it's astonishing that the Home Secretary can order an inquiry, order the Met to disclose all relevant information, and the Met take legal advice and do the opposite. So we've heard in that piece that the Met say they're open, they want to be transparent. Fine, let's be transparent. publish the legal advice tomorrow. Let's see how transparent the Met really are.
The Met says it is still committed to this investigation. They've still got resources on it. They've got that new team they talked about. Do you believe they are committed to it? You're not talking to them yet.
Well, I haven't seen any evidence of that. So at this moment in time, I don't believe so. The only evidence I've seen around this investigation is the way they've treated Clive Driscoll and his team. A team that secured a conviction that we all believed wasn't possible.
And briefly, Duwayne, how often, how much do you still think about what happened all those years ago?
Well, it will stay with me forever. It was a night that I wish didn't happen. If I had the chance to turn back time, of course, turn back time and make different decisions on that night, but it's happened. We have to move on. We have to be successful to show that even though you do have bad times in your life, you can move on and be successful. So we're trying to do that. But also, the message needs to go out to other victims of crime that even though things may be hard, at the end of the day, justice is still possible.
Duwayne Brooks, thanks so much
Thank
indeed
you.
for coming.